There he is, the calm, good-looking fellow in the center. After returning from Paris and after huge receptions in Washington, New York, and St. Louis, he launched a nationwide tour taking him to 82 cities in all 48 states. As at this air show in Los Angeles, massive crowds turned out to get a glimpse of our new national hero. Lindbergh's feat was sparking a renewed interest in aviation. Why, already there was nostalgia for this 1910 vintage plane. As Lindbergh performed for the crowd, others were dreaming of new records to be broken. Everyone from aircraft designers to businessmen were coming up with ideas for new planes and new uses. Aircraft development had been flagging until Lindbergh came along. Now it was booming. As 1927 turned into 28, there was growing enthusiasm for flying. Now the airplane would get you there faster, and the first regularly scheduled passenger planes were in service. But the biggest aviation news was the breaking of records. A tri-motored Fokker, the question mark, was staying in the air continuously for almost a week. Over in England, the British were unveiling their experimental plane, the Inflexible, the largest land-based plane built up to that time. The race was on for the largest craft to carry passengers and cargo. But the Inflexible was dwarfed in 1929 by this huge Dornier amphibious plane. 12 motors, 169 passengers. Despite their looks, planes like these were making regular air service possible. Now came the rigid frame airship, the dirigible. The largest of these, in 1928, the German Graf Zeppelin, 772 feet long, 100 feet in diameter. She took her maiden flight September 18th. Dr. Hugo Echner was the commander and the builder. In October, the Graf Zeppelin left Germany carrying a crew of 40 and 20 passengers plus mail, crossing the Atlantic in 4 days, arriving at Lakehurst, New Jersey. And suddenly, we all had the Zeppelin fever. It was like Lindbergh all over again. New York ticker tape parades, 20,000 a day visiting Lakehurst to see the ship. And now came the big aviation news of 1928. A young woman, Amelia Earhart, 31 years old, a 7-year veteran pilot. On June 17, she took off in a Fokker monoplane from Newfoundland with a pilot and a mechanic, and 20 hours and 40 minutes later, there they were in Wales. And Amelia became the first woman to fly the Atlantic. Lady Lindy, some called her, and as usual, there were ticker tape parades in New York, festivities in cities right across the country. America fell in love with Amelia Earhart. She was unassuming, but she was a striking personality, and she was going to set many more aviation records over the next 9 years. By now, the United States was supplying warplanes to Obregon. Though there was considerable wrangling among Mexico's myriad political factions, Obregon's Revolutionary Party continued to hold power. The fact of American military aid was a bit curious. American-Mexican relations had improved since 1927, in spite of the fact that Obregon's government was quite socialistic by our standards. Agrarian reforms and the constant threat to nationalize American oil companies, that looked strange and threatening to us. Still, there was enough good feeling for us to let Obregon have fighter planes. "9 days and 20 hours. the same airship that had made the Atlantic crossing a year before. It seemed as if the enthusiasm might slack off, but no. As the Graf moored at Lakehurst, New Jersey, it was Zeppelin fever all over again.
It was an amazing, thrilling, glorious experience, and I think all the passengers were unanimous in feeling as I did, that the actual taking of this trip was far beyond anything that we possibly hoped to experience.
Was it the overwhelming size of that airship? It did seem to be a kind of symbol of modern technology. It was a modern miracle. Indeed it was.
Now to you, as postmaster of the Graf Zeppelin, I'm giving 3 letters, which I would greatly appreciate your giving to the Movietone News crews in Berlin, Tokyo, and Seattle. If you will give these letters to them as soon as you get to the field, we'll be very, very much obliged to you, sir.
A huge hydrogen tank to replenish the ship's gas cells. Dr. Hugo Echner, commander of the Graf Zeppelin, speaks for the Movietone camera. Lindbergh's presence quickly helped inspire wide interest in air travel, the new symbol of the new era. And inevitably, as a part of all this, we had to have a first marriage up there in the air.
In accordance and pursuant to the laws of the state of New York, the vector and the power vested in me thereby, I, Eugene L. Flanagan, justice of peace to the town of which I do hereby pronounce you man and wife.
As the newly married couple coming to Earth,